Did you know in the late 19th century, Dr. Edward Clark, who was a prominent physician back then, wrote in his controversial book, Sex and Education, that women's delicate constitutions could not handle both intellectual pursuits and the stresses of midlife hormonal changes. He suggested they should retreat from public life to protect their health. So, again, while his views were rightly dismissed as outdated and sexist, they do reflect a really interesting historical truth, right? So, perimenopause and menopause have long been misunderstood and kind of shrouded in silence. But today we have the tools and knowledge to demystify this kind of strange and crazy life transition that women go through and really take control of our well being. And then with a proactive approach and the right strategies, you can thrive during perimenopause. So, here are 10 actionable tips I wish I had known sooner as a woman and a physician, really rooted in the latest science and empowering insights. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, my name is Dr. Lori Marbus. I'm a board certified family and lifestyle medicine physician who really focuses on helping women and men prevent and reverse and treat chronic disease through lifestyle interventions and medications if need be. But if you're interested in learning more, I do have a free menopause webinar called Master Menopause and Feel Fabulous. In that, you learn the top 3 mistakes women make during menopause and also my 5-step blueprint to master menopause and feel fabulous that I actually used on myself in the last year as someone who just turned 54 and finally hit the postmenopausal. I've gone my 12 months. I've learned quite a bit, and then also just the education as a physician and my own experience. So check it out below. Oh, and by the way, you will also get a free download just for registering called Perimenopause and Menopause Evaluation Checklist. It's a 4-page document you can take to your doctor highlighting your symptoms, the questions you should be asking, and why. But that's all free for you in the link below. So let's get started. What is the number one tip I think you should be thinking about? One is embracing a whole food plant-based diet. And why does it matter? Well, a whole food plant-based diet is proven to reduce inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and support hormonal balance. It's also linked to lower risk of chronic diseases like heart disease, which is our number one killer, osteoporosis, and breast cancer. So conditions that become more concerning during perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. So your actionable tip is really focus on plant-based foods like legumes, leafy greens, whole grains, fruits, and seeds, and incorporate soy products if you can, including tofu, tempeh, and edamame. These will contain things called phytoestrogens, which can mimic estrogen's effects and then ease symptoms like hot flashes. Also, very good for bone health. So, also you want to avoid those ultra processed foods and added oils to really maximize your nutrient intake. So, make every bite count. Number one. Number two, forget the hormone testing, but track your symptoms instead. Why does this matter? Well, hormone levels will fluctuate wildly during perimenopause, so taking tests really can be unreliable. And instead, focusing on your symptom patterns can be very helpful and meaningful, especially when you think about your periods. How long are they coming? Are they heavier? What other symptoms are beginning to pop up? And I have tons of other videos around the menopause symptoms and such. But what's your actionable tip would be to use a journal or an app to track your symptoms such as sleep disturbances, mood changes, and energy levels, and look for trends that can help adapt your lifestyle, like reducing stress or making some dietary tweaks. Number three is get these annual labs. So, why it matters? Well, perimenopause and menopause increase the risk of chronic diseases like cardiovascular disease, thyroid dysfunction, and diabetes. Regular annual lab testing can be really crucial for early detection and prevention. So here are the tips, or the actionable tip is during your annual checkup, request these tests. A lipid panel, right, to monitor your cholesterol and heart health. Two is a high sensitivity C-reactive protein, or hsCRP. This is to assess systemic inflammation, especially when it comes to your cardiovascular health. TSH and free T4 to check your thyroid function, a hemoglobin A1C to kind of monitor blood sugars and diabetes risk, a comprehensive metabolic panel. This helps with liver, kidney, and electrolyte balance, but also has a fasting glucose, which is very helpful again in looking at the whole story of your potential for insulin resistance. Vitamin D levels, this is essential for bone health and immune support. And then B12 is especially critical for those on a plant based diet. There's even additional labs if you're eating a plant based diet that I've recommended. There's a video somewhere talking about the annual labs that you should be getting as a plant based eater. If you want to learn more, you can also check out my website at drmarbus.com, and I have all these workshops in the healing kitchen. We have all this stuff and resources for you. Number 4 is prioritize bone health. So why does this matter? Estrogen protects bone density and its decline during perimenopause and increases the risk of osteoporosis. So proactive measures can prevent bone loss. What's your actionable tip here is incorporate calcium-rich plant-based foods like fortified plant milks, tofu, broccoli, and kale. Add vitamin D from supplements or fortified foods, especially if your labs show that you're low or less than 30 is where we'd be concerned. Include weight bearing exercises like walking with a vest, weighted vest, some type of resistance training as well, because this will help strengthen your bones. Your bones are dynamic organs, right? They respond to mechanical stressors. Number 5 is a limit or avoid alcohol. And why it matters: alcohol increases the risk of breast cancer and weakens bones, so compounding the perimenopausal challenges. Plus, it can worsen things like hot flashes and interfere with your sleep. So, actionable tip: replace your alcoholic drinks with non-alcoholic options like sparkling water with lime or herbal teas. And if you choose to drink, make it very limit your consumption to no more than 1 drink per week and focus on hydration. Number 6 is addressing vaginal and pelvic health. So, why does it matter? Well, vaginal dryness, discomfort, and pelvic floor changes are common but under discussed symptoms of perimenopause that can affect intimacy and quality of life. Also, want to pay attention if you have noticed an increased UTI rate. So let's say that you kind of entered into your later 40s, early 50s, or even postmenopause, and you're now like, man, why am I getting these UTIs? So many of them. This is something that needs to be discussed with your doctors. You might be a candidate for something like a vaginal estrogen, which can help decrease, one, the burning sensation or dry skin that occurs down there, but also the recurrence of UTIs. Very, very helpful for many women. So, actionable tip here is using plant based vaginal moisturizers regularly and practice pelvic floor exercises like Kegels to maintain strength and function. And then, if issues persist, you really want to talk to your doctor about personalized solutions. Maybe you need a referral to a PT pelvic floor specialist. And that has been beneficial for many women that I've spoken to. So definitely think about that if you're struggling there. Number 7 is optimizing your sleep hygiene, right? So why it matters. So sleep disruptions during menopause can affect your mood, your cognition, and overall health. It can increase risk for heart disease and high blood pressure. So prioritizing restful sleep can alleviate many of these symptoms. Actionable tip: establish a consistent bedtime routine, right? So keep your bed, and I'm sure you've heard all of these before, but just it helps to be um, told again. So keep your bedroom cool and dark, avoid screens at least an hour before bed. And if the hot flashes disrupt your sleep, invest in maybe some moisture wicking pajamas and breathable bedding, and discuss maybe the potential for menopausal hormone therapy if you are open to that and don't have certain risk factors that would be a contraindication, like a history of breast cancer. There are other non hormonal treatments as well that can be very helpful for the hot flashes and the night sweats. Number 8 is supporting your emotional well being, right? So, why it matters. So, hormonal fluctuations can intensify your feelings of anxiety, sadness, or irritability, really impacting your relationships and quality of life. Actionable tip: to practice mindfulness through meditation or deep breathing, journaling, or spending time in nature can also reduce stress. If emotions feel overwhelming, consider therapy or support group to really help navigate those changes with guidance. And one thing that I'd like to say, there's a book that really, I feel, changed my life, was The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. So you might want to check it out. Number 9 is stay physically active, right? So why it matters. Exercise is essential for maintaining muscle mass, supporting your bone health, and boosting mood during perimenopause. Actionable tips. So incorporate your strength training twice a week minimally, preferably 3 to 4 times a week. Combined with aerobic activities like brisk walking or swimming. Include flexibility things like yoga, which will help improve your balance and prevent injury or falls. In addition, exercise does help sleep. So you start this nice little snowball effect, right? You exercise, you feel better, you sleep better, your mood's better, and you get my drift. Next is really, now the last one is really educating yourself and finding a community. So, why does this matter? Well, historically, women have faced perimenopause without adequate support or knowledge, and understanding your options and connecting with others transforms this stage into a really powerful opportunity for growth. That's how I've chosen to embrace my menopausal transition journey. Is it's forced me to turn inward and really pay attention and slow down. I had to slow down because of some of my symptoms, which have pretty much resolved at this point. So I'm very excited to share that knowledge and experience with others. So, what would I suggest for this? You can join online communities or in person groups where you can really share your experiences with others. In addition, in this free webinar that I mentioned, the Master Menopause and Feel Fabulous, you're going to learn how you can potentially work with me for an entire year in a wonderful group of women that we meet live twice a month, and so many other things, cool things that we have to offer. So check it out. It's in the webinar, but it's towards the end of the webinar, so you'll need to watch it to the end to learn more about that opportunity. So as always, feel free to register for the webinar. You're going to get, again, those 3 top mistakes women make during menopause. You're also going to learn my 5-step blueprint on how to master your menopause and feel fabulous. It works very well. I use this with patients, with myself, teaching part of that to the group of women that I'm help coaching. And in addition to this, you get that free perimenopause and menopause evaluation checklist. If anything, just download that. That will be a wonderful start on understanding this journey for yourself. So, again, remember, perimenopause can feel daunting, and perimenopause includes this menopausal transition, right? So you're in this perimenopausal phase and now you stopped having periods. That is still considered perimenopause, right? So now here's the last period. Now you have 12 months before you hit that postmenopausal stage. So I just hit that 12-month stage and I'm in the postmenopausal stage. It's kind of weird to say that, but that's where we're at. So if you're anywhere in that transition or even the postmenopause and still having symptoms, because women will continue to have symptoms, um, definitely feel free to check this out. And if you are blown through perimenopause and menopause and feel fabulous already, that's fine too. But there's probably still some things that you can learn from the download and just in making sure, because you're still at higher risk for certain things like cardiovascular disease and things that you should be looking for there. So again, everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm super excited to have you here as always, sending you joy, gratitude, love, and healing. And please feel free to share this with anyone that you think might benefit. You can share the video. You can check them out at drmarvis.com. Again, we have tons and tons of resources. Share the webinar link. We'd love to spread this, the news on how we can feel better. Okay, have a great day, everyone.